Hey, good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Let's Talk About It. This is Susan Johnson, and I'm here with my co-host, Dennis O'Brien. And we have a fabulous guest for tonight, our wonderful councilwoman, Dawn Niles. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for asking me again.
Just pleased to have you here because she's also the chairman of the Sustainable Windham, Connecticut
Sustainable Energy Committee.
Sustainable Energy Committee for Windham, and we've been winning awards because she's the chairman. So, right, Dennis?
Yes, definitely. She has a history of doing good things in town that's almost as long as mine. Almost as long.
I'm not even going to try.
Well, almost.
I can never try.
I go back to Ronald Reagan when he got elected.
It's sort of like Lloyd walking. Sure, great. Don't ask me.
Yeah, right. Right.
I'll walk, but I'm not your walking buddy.
We're probably the two longest chair. She's certainly the longest.
Yeah, 17 years.
17 years as chair of the Democratic Town Committee. I did about 12. And I ran a lot of campaigns, and I also did a lot of campaigns for budgets and stuff like that. But Dawn exceeded me by a good 5 years. And she's also been on the council longer than I was. How long have you been on the council now?
I don't even remember.
12, 14 years now, right?
I gave up counting.
It's got to be a while.
Hey, we're all three people who have sat on the council. I did 3 terms on the council.
You were on the council when it was called the Board of Selectmen.
So
Yes,
wasn't
that's
I.
right.
And so was Dawn. I was not.
Yeah.
I didn't get on there till Dawn. Dawn called me and asked me if I wanted to fill she was chairman at the time and also on the council. And Joe Underwood was resigning to move to Florida. And she asked me if I wanted to go on, and I said, I don't think so. And then I went home and told Susan, and she said, oh, you should do it, Dennis.
Yeah,
And I ended up on there 6 years.
And you were great. It's
6 years.
great having someone with your perspective on there. I like the different perspectives.
We had a great
me
team.
too. I
Dawn.
think you got to have different
Charlie Chris
perspectives.
was on.
Oh my God, I loved Charlie.
Me
I didn't
too.
love all of his ideas.
No, well, I didn't
but
either.
I really loved him.
But he was so just like you and I. He was great on civil rights, of course.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, you were both. He was.
Well, he talked me into being a CHRO commissioner.
Right.
I'm not sure how we
you
did
were-
that.
Well, that was wonderful that you did that.
You were a
Yes.
commissioner, and he was the chief litigator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the only thing is with Charlie, I'm a tax and spend liberal, and Charlie was not. He was a
Yeah.
cheapskate.
Oh my God. We would go over the budget every line.
Yeah. What?
And every expenditure.
Well, that's
every
kinda like-
year.
yeah.
So I got used to that.
that
you know?
meant I didn't have to do it.
Well, I got used to it because he would make me sit with him, and so now it's just something I automatically do. So.
Well, that's a good thing. I mean, going over the budget, I showed you like how it used to be when I was on the Board of Selectmen / Council. But the way that the budgets are configured now is much different than what we had. And frankly, they were kind of like written the way that I was writing budgets when I was at Legal Aid, and I did their budgets and I did their fundraising. So, you know, it was easy transition for me.
Yeah.
But now there's more complexity for sure.
They actually don't give us enough time,
Right.
and they don't share enough information when you first start out.
Right.
You have to ask and ask and ask, and even the notes, they're better this time.
Oh,
the
good.
notes explaining things. But in the past, they've been, even the first one we got this time, were exactly the same as the year before. So that doesn't tell me anything.
Right.
You know, doesn't tell me why there's an increase, what they're trying to do. So there's been a lot of reorganization
Right.
and a lot of, broken hearts somewhere.
Yeah.
But, you know what, we're trying.
To give credit to you all who were still, fighting the good fight on the council, and the administration, I got to admit, it's a lot harder now than it's ever been.
You know,
There's no question.
it's a lot of work. I actually, if you think about it, I spent 3 days dealing with council work. That's it.
Yeah.
Some of it was
absolutely.
sustainable, but it was mostly, look at, I mean,
Well,
they're
sustainable
all
is-
seeing all these papers here.
Yeah.
But I had to do a HeartSafe application
Sure.
that was due, and that was 4 pages.
And that was an
And-
amazing thing that you did as well. You brought that
So
forward.
we're recertified for 3 more years.
Congratulations. I just want to say the amazing work. I want the listening audience to hear all the different aspects of what it is to be in the Sustainable Committee.
Oh my God, there's so much, Susan. Susan, don't make it sound like you don't know, because Susan's part of us now.
She shows up at some meetings. I've seen her.
No, actually, she's a member now. She doesn't
Well,
know.
she's not listed as a member.
She will
I've
be.
been made a member. Yes.
Neither are you.
No.
I looked at the latest list, and they have just
Well,
3 people
It's
in it. Peter
because
Leeds
it's
and,
because the one before,
yeah.
the ordinance the thing that we're working on, the
Yeah.
ad hoc committee, basically combined energy and sustainable together,
Okay.
and they made the town manager pick chair. I hadn't
No,
always
it
been the chair. I actually got off for 2 years.
Yeah.
Mainly because of COVID and
Sure.
actually contacting long-term COVID. Congratulations, Dawn. Right?
Poor Dawn.
I got to get my booster.
yeah,
well,
me too.
I got off
Speaking
for
of
2
that.
years and they lost certification. I had gotten it up to silver, which people don't understand how much work that takes.
It's huge.
They had lost it all.
was
So I
very-
got back on. The first year I got it to bronze. Last year,
Yes, I was
silver.
there with you. We got the award.
Yeah.
I was thrilled to be able to be part of the celebration and go with you to receive the
And
recognition.
I so much appreciated that,
yeah,
really.
Yeah,
So, and then this year, I'm hoping to do the climate control.
wonderful.
And we were about 50 points less than what was needed for gold. But I have to make sure all the categories are filled. So we're going after gold, Susan.
All right. Oh, I love that. Well, let me just say, I would just love to be golden, and I'd love to have our sustainable committee be golden. But tell us some of the things, please, that the sustainable
I
committee.
have a couple of questions
has
first.
Sure.
Sure.
I did some research, you know.
Oh.
I didn't know anything about sustainable, nothing. So I spent a couple hours today researching.
Okay, we gotta let
And
you do that. then.
and I just want to tell you what I found. And
No,
it's
that'd be
it's
interesting.
well, I mean, I thought it was a statutory program, but it's not.
No.
You knew that. I did
Yeah.
not know that. It's a nonprofit that's run pretty much by CCM, but Sustainable at Eastern has a lot to do with it.
Yeah,
you
one
can
in,
talk
in
about that.
CCM is the Council of.
Yeah,
Connecticut
Connecticut Council of
Municipalities.
Municipalities that we dropped out of. Remember when you and I were on the
Oh my
council?
God, because they weren't.
You and I and
paying.
Charlie led the.
They
the
were
the way.
actually not sticking up for Wyndham.
They
and what
weren't.
we needed.
They weren't.
So we had to hold their feet to the fire.
I loved that when you did that, and I
Yeah.
was very proud of you for doing that. And then they came back and said, "What can
They
we
came
do
back
for
with
you?"
a deal.
To Joe DeLong's credit, he made it right out to Wyndham.
Yes, he
came
did.
to
Yeah.
a council meeting. He said, "What do you want?"
Yep.
And we told him what we wanted, and we set up that committee.
Let me just say one nice thing about Joe DeLong, because he's really been working
I like
for the,
Joe.
for the
Yeah.
for the children. He's had some CCM meetings for legislators to talk about the budget, to talk about the fiscal guardrails and why they're the way they are, and to make sure that we fully fund our educational programs. And I'm very appreciative of Joe DeLong and CCM at this point in time.
Oh, I am too. It's,
Yep.
I mean, a lot of people don't realize what they actually do when they're fighting for everybody, not
Right.
just the wealthy cities, but everybody.
Yes.
Okay.
The wealthy small towns.
Yeah, small towns seem to be
big
like
cities
they're
are not
lost
wealthy.
out of there.
Yeah.
But once they actually heard our voice,
Yep.
I started using them for research.
Yes.
Yep.
And I mean, I can subject matters that I need information on. They can get to me within days.
Yes.
they're good.
They're very good.
Yeah.
They have the resources. They have really good people working there. Joe DeLong is fabulous. He's a former. He played college football at a very high level for West Virginia. You can tell. He's a big guy. And anybody, your
I
son
really
played high
like
school
him.
football.
Yeah.
And anybody that's played organized football, they got to be tough. I
Yeah.
did not. I played sandlot football. I never played organized football. My mother wouldn't sign for me. I played baseball and basketball at New Britain High School, but I did not play football. And
Football got
I
my
can't
son
imagine.
through school.
That is a very tough game.
Yes.
Football got my son through school because if he didn't make grades, he didn't play.
Yep,
And he
that's
loved it.
well. That's a good.
That's a good one.
incentive. Yeah.
That's a very good one. But I do want to just.
Yeah, I had a few more
Okay,
things.
go ahead.
Yeah,
Just talk.
I had no. I thought sustainable was only about energy,
No.
and that's great in and of itself to sustain, because I think the group at Eastern is more into the energy thing.
Yeah.
You tell me, Dawn. I
They're-
mean,
they're-
you should
they
follow
are.
up with.
Most of the stuff I deal with Patty from Eastern
Yeah.
is mostly to do with energy-related type programs.
That's a big
So
deal.
it's
obviously.
very, very helpful. And really enjoy the knowledge of trying to get all that.
Just one little word about that, because I wanted to just say how Eastern
Okay,
Connecticut
you're-
State University is a place where people say, well, what should we do as a community? What should we do as a state? I say, look at what Eastern Connecticut State University has done. They have geothermal. They converted their all-electric high-rise tenant dorms, rather, into geothermal. They also have 2 areas for fuel cells. So they have done both those things. They're taking advantage of the resources right there, and right in front of us. And that's what we need to do. And that's the kind of like how I discuss being sustainable. Taking advantage of what we have here to move towards total sustainability. But it takes time. It takes energy. No pun intended.
And a lot of work.
And a huge amount of work.
Let me ask one more
And
question.
but before you
uh,
do
so-
that, really quick, and because of all of that, that's what Sustainable is working on. But go ahead.
Yeah, well, that's I just didn't know that it involved other aspects of the community, open
Yeah.
space and all
Oh,
kinds
yeah.
of stuff. I have some questions for you when we get to it about how far can you go with that. I mean, they talk about housing and all
Oh my
kinds
God.
of stuff, and we are really
Yeah.
doing more than our fair share in terms of affordable housing.
We are, and I've got to show what we're doing, and it's very, very hard, Dennis, because it's all point systems.
Yeah,
And underneath each category,
Yeah.
there's a bunch of subcategories.
Yeah,
So the housing portion is humongous.
yeah.
And I actually didn't think about that. I have a notebook full of things that came back from the new housing bill that came down that
Right.
we were given a class
Rural
on
Houses
and
bill,
so on,
yeah.
but I didn't have it on my list, so I didn't bring it. But
That's okay.
it's I mean, you learn a lot and
Yeah,
you're
definitely.
kept informed a lot more. And being a sustainable community actually tells people that are looking at you that you're a community that wants to ensure that everything is taken care of in a way that's open and helps bring in environmental changes and quality of life changes.
Yeah.
One of the
Yes.
things I did in preparation for the shows, including reading, is I listened to a good part of the show that you did with us last year. And I noticed that when I only listened to the sustainable part because we talked about the town council later on. We started with sustainable, and I said nothing during the sustainable part because I didn't know anything. I don't even remember. Was I on the council when you started with sustainable? I think I was, but I think I just didn't play a role in it.
I think you were
I've been
still
off for
on.
about 5 years.
It
now.
actually came to us from Jean Dismay.
Yeah.
I researched it a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm not really a technical person. I can get an
Yeah,
idea
yeah.
and try to figure out how to get to that idea.
Yeah.
But science-wise, yeah, cross me off.
Yeah, me too.
I'll
I'm not a
I'll
techie.
help you, but don't ask me to explain it. So I was a little worried about doing it. We went on basically as partners. And the interesting thing was with all those categories, and I can't remember them all. I wish I had
Yeah.
pulled that
That's
up.
It's huge.
There's a lot.
To be Wyndham, the first year, in less than 4 months, I had enough points to get us bronze
right.
because everything that this town has already done.
Thank you.
And I actually didn't realize that.
Yeah, well, I remember that because I remember
I
seeing
remember that. I don't know if
everything,
was
and
on
I
the council.
remember seeing the listing, and then I think I responded with a few more things that
Yeah.
I knew about, and I thought, wow, this is great to get recognized for everything we do because as a general rule, we're not recognized for most of the stuff we do, and so that is one of the reasons this sustainable committee is so important
It
because
is.
it brings us together and it also promotes every single thing that and there are huge this form that Councilwoman Niles fills out with some help but nevertheless takes full responsibility is gigantic. It's how many pages? 300-400 pages. It's huge.
It's-
Oh,
it's
God.
it's
It's
huge.
huge.
It is a huge undertaking, and she does that work, and that's how we got back to bronze last year and up to silver. We're on our way
And
and
gold
to
is the-
gold.
is
Yeah,
Gold
we
is
only
next.
needed,
Highest category.
again, like 50 points to
Yeah,
get,
yeah.
or we would have had gold. But again, they have to be specific points in specific
I had
categories.
another question.
Yeah.
I noticed that last year when you were on the show with Susan, there was some talk between the two of you about the you know, that event that the police and fire and the National Night Out,
Yeah.
and that seems to be part of, you know, so successfully making sure that our police and fire departments are successful, and they are. Ours are excellent. I know that very well from sitting on the,
Yeah.
you know, the Willimantic Taxing District board that covers police and fire in Willimantic. And I also know how much, you know, they do some stuff in the Wyndhams too with ambulance.
So
And
whenever,
I also know how closely they work with the Wyndham Fire Departments and all the chief does. Whenever there's any talk at all about the Wyndham Fire Departments, is he talks about how great they are. He is really.
well, I like Chief Palmer a lot.
Palmer is great.
I got to tell you that
he knows
I've
how to
actually
work with other
seen
people.
somewhat of a difference going on. Not that it was bad before, but
Yep.
Just more. It seems to be more of a cooperation
He's
going
exceptional.
on now, and so on. And I mean, our volunteers are, as you know, I know because I'm married
know
to
it
one.
Yeah,
better
you
than
know them,
anybody.
yes.
I know.
Are just tremendous out here.
Yeah.
I think it's tremendous
great.
for people to do that, to
Yeah.
volunteer.
But the points that count are the fact that they're involved in the community,
Yeah.
that they're doing stuff. So not only what
Yeah.
they do, but also what the volunteers do
Yeah.
when it opens up to the community
Right.
and shows
right.
them different things.
Yeah.
So you know, like the third Thursday when they're down here,
Yeah, oh yeah.
and some of them do CPR
Yeah.
showing.
Yes.
And that counts.
Yeah.
That is the
Okay,
kind of
so
thing
that counts
those
in
are
the
the
point
things that
system?
you
Yes.
report.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's great because I'm glad that you know, because we have it's hard for us to provide more affordable housing here than we already do, because I know a lot of towns in the state. I've been involved in a lot of them, and you know, we do our fair share and then some, and a lot of towns don't. And you know what they say, and it's true. We had a meeting over in Andover where Governor Lamont showed up. I think it was the first time a governor had been in Andover for 50 years. And so they invited me to come because they knew I knew him. And they explained to him how difficult it is for them to do more affordable housing because of the infrastructure problems.
Yeah.
And you know all about that because you have
We do.
infrastructure situations out in the Wyndhams.
Yeah.
And I take it for granted, infrastructure, because I grew up in New Britain and I've lived here most of my life.
Why don't you
Well,
just say
we have to show not only low-income housing, we have to show affordable housing.
Yeah.
And
For
so
middle class.
middle class.
That's
so
right,
that's
It's
right.
sort of like we're starting to see some of that now.
that can be.
So that is going to.
You're right. We've got that.
It's going to
development.
count. I've got to figure out
Yeah.
how that works. Like what also works is when we renovate.
Yeah.
So when we are even our housing, federal housing complexes,
Yep.
for instance,
Yep.
when there's renovation money
Get points for that.
that goes through, as long as the town has signed off on something or anything, I can count it. So
Yeah,
Okay,
I was
that's
just going to
great,
say
'cause,
that was just going to follow up on what Dawn was saying, because it's not affordable housing is market rate housing.
yes,
Yeah.
And so,
I- I-
sometimes people don't understand the difference between subsidized housing, like what we have here, which is the Housing
Yeah.
Authority, which is subsidized, Section 8 subsidized. But then we have the people say affordable housing. It's actually market rate housing, so it's whatever the market rate is.
Right.
And
Yeah.
then the other aspect of what we need to do is to do more single-family homes and
Yes.
more condominiums, more upscale stuff. And that way we have a variety of different types of housing. Now, I have to add one other little thing about housing, and that's what's going on Main Street. We're going to have, I forget how many units, we're going to have several, maybe more than 100
24,
units
something like that.
over here
Dawn knows
at
about it.
Odo4, and then the other right next door to the station, radio station, they're going to have a bunch more
and there
units.
might be a few more.
All right. Well, I'm
good.
really excited to hear that too.
Well,
but
What about the ones out in the
because-
Wyndhams? Isn't
They're
it North
market.
Wyndham?
They're marketplace housing. But
Yeah.
Yes.
And again, people that are low income will look at
Mm-hmm.
the prices and they go, "Why that?"
Mm.
It's because we pull in different people to come into our
Right.
community,
Yeah.
and they spend,
Yeah.
and then there's more revenue coming in. All right. Plus, even if they got a tax break to start, some of this land that we've sold, we were getting zero taxes.
That's
on,
right. That's
okay?
right. Yep.
Some people don't understand that.
Yeah.
Now we're getting taxes on it from day one. They might not be the highest that they should at the point that they are based on the value.
But it's an incentive for
But
them.
it's more money than we had been getting.
Right.
Yeah, it was
Plus,
zero.
a lot of the places that we're building now, the new place at 804 Main Street is brand new from top to bottom.
Yeah.
And we're going to have other places that will be brand new from top to bottom, and they will. The zoning commission has one of the rules in the zoning commission is to make sure all the properties on the downtown area are made to look in the period of time that is historic. To our history here in the town of Wyndham and the Willimantic Service District.
And
so, yeah.
they must have retail or something on the bottom
Yep.
floor,
Yes.
And they're buying parking spaces in the parking garage.
which is fine.
Yeah.
I'm
yeah.
good with that.
That's how they did. That's what they did up in
Yeah.
Mansfield, downtown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people. Yes, there's housing, but because that's one of the committees I did sit on for a while.
Yeah.
And one I learned a lot from because we redid a lot of zoning rules at that time. Paula Stahl is wonderful. I
Yes,
have to
she
tell
is.
you.
She's devoted to that whole
she's-
thing.
It was unbelievable.
She's
But
a real professional.
one of the things that we ensured was that on this main street, if you're building here, your bottom floor is going to be a business.
Yes,
Yep.
indeed.
Okay.
That's very, very important, and that's exactly
Makes
what
a lot of sense.
will keep the economy growing here in the downtown Willimantic area, and it's starting to look beautiful and starting to grow. And we got a few more things to do, and then we'll be all done.
Well-
It's
Can't
been
wait.
great. So
I can't
quality
wait.
of life issues, going back to the question you asked me,
Yes.
of course,
Yep.
energy, open government. And a lot of people get upset with that. They think that open government means that everything has to be hybrid where you can be talking when you want to talk. That's not
No.
what that means. It
Right. means
that if you need a document, you need to see what's going on, that it's available. And we are working, the first thing was that I worked on was getting the budget online.
Yep.
That budget was never online. Is there still work that has to be done on it? Yes. But it was never online for anyone.
Yeah.
And now it is.
That's good. That is
Right,
very,
so that
very
was
helpful
one of the
so people
first
can see
things
that.
we pushed for from Sustainable.
Yep. That's a good thing.
One of the things else was purchasing power.
Yes.
We actually revamped the rules regarding
Purchasing.
purchasing.
Yeah.
You know, so there's a lot of little things that we've done along the way
Yes.
since we started, but it touches on art,
Yeah.
entertainment, inclusion of different cultures, things like that.
Yeah, and we certainly have the capacity to include multiple cultures here, and with the museums, and now with the river room that we have, and we have a lot of people working really hard in expanding access to entertainment, and it's kind of helping us expand our arts and entertainment district, which was a 1990s idea for how do we make up for the fact that we lost our manufacturing businesses here in the 80s, and so what do we do? So we said, well, let's make an arts and entertainment district, and it's really starting to come. I mean, we've certainly been doing it for years and years, but this is now becoming more and more apparent that we do have an arts and entertainment district with all the different things that are going
He's
on in our
doing a
Main Street.
wonderful job.
Yes, yes.
I actually hope he puts a bid in to be the promoter.
Chris Beaudry.
Yeah.
yeah.
He was on last week with me and.
I'm kind of hoping that he puts a bid in to do that for that stage
Oh, yes.
because
yeah,
we're looking for one.
sure. To
I'm,
do-
Yeah.
I'm so happy. You know how many years it took to get them to actually, the council to actually agree
I
to
know.
go for a
I
promoter?
remember when I first went on the council, and we had a Republican mayor, and we had to push through all the projects. The community center's been a big success.
Oh my
I
gosh,
think.
yeah.
Well, I like the idea, and I think we worked on that together, of course. We mentioned a few people that were on there, and some people are still on there. But you and I were both on there. Tom DeVivo was, and we did a lot of stuff, construction projects, the Shabu stage, the high school renovation, which was a real big one, the community center, which we really needed badly. I like the idea of bringing the younger people in together with
And
the older people.
It's necessary.
It's so good. It's a
just
certain
really-
type
yeah.
of integration that is very important for the town. And the other was the parking garage,
Yeah.
which I think it's beautiful. I think a lot of people are using it, and now with this new development, they're going to have, I think they're going to have 20 spaces or so.
Yeah, the only thing I'd like to still see, Dennis, there is actually maybe hiring a company to oversee it. You know, because again,
It may be too
this
much for
town
us. Yeah.
needs to understand that we're a town business. We're not a,
Yeah.
doing things like that, renting a stage out. We have to start understanding that we're not landlords.
Yeah,
We need
Mansfield
to-
has
that's why we hired
Mansfield
Lyman
has a consultant.
to look out there and look for our properties that are listed as
Yeah,
vacant.
yeah, that's good.
And so far, we're seeing results.
That's
Well,
great.
and the other thing is, Dawn, as you know, we've lost positions,
Oh my God!
and one of the
Someone
prices
asked
you
me
pay.
today, 13.
Well, see, that's one of the problems. One of the prices you pay for longevity, and we treat our employees very well, I think,
Yeah, that
and,
was hard.
they're well paid. But the more everybody gets raises and stuff, and that's cool, and they deserve it. But as you keep giving raises, I mean, it's hard to keep everybody.
Well, we had to bring them a couple of years ago up to basically the standards that people were paying in towns like ours. And that's what we looked at.
Yeah, it's hard to
And
match
because we were
Mansfield.
so underneath
Yeah,
everyone that we were losing. Everybody we trained, we were losing.
That's been classic in our
That's
district.
including the police and fire.
it's
which
a
police
teacher-
and fire is
that
something.
was like really, really
Police and fire,
disgusting.
teachers,
Because they learn everything in this
and then
town.
they go.
especially police.
Not as much as they
Yeah.
do in other towns. I'm sorry, it's just different.
No,
and
it is, yes.
Because we basically are a town that is a small city.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
This is a
We're-
very
we're-
unusual. Now that you made me say my line, and that
Yeah.
is this is a very, very unusual place.
Oh, yeah.
There's
Yes.
nothing else like Wyndham / Willimantic in the whole state of Connecticut, where we have a little less than 25,000 people. We have our police, paid police. We have our volunteer fire. We have our state police for the region, for the villages. We have our university police.
Yeah.
We have all these different things. We have more public housing on a per capita basis than anywhere else in the state of Connecticut except Hartford. We have generations. We have a hospital. We have a university. We have community colleges. We serve the region. We have 3 homeless shelters. We serve this region. Nobody else does what we do with less than 25,000 people.
No.
Now, with 13,800 people on the Medicaid program. That's more than half of our people here are on Medicaid. And so when we have all this service going on with such a small population, in fact, sometimes when I'm at the Capitol, newer people say to me, you must have a population of about 100,000, all the stuff that you do. I mean, don't forget the airport. I mean,
Yeah.
so we have a lot here, and it's complicated because because of the income chain differences, we have Alliance District money that comes into the school system that comes in a different angle from the way that most towns get their money, which is all of it goes through the town. In our case, the education money goes in part through the town and in part directly from the state to the Board of Ed. So those things and how they look in the budget is completely different from what other towns look like when you look at the education budget. For example, we bring in about $35 million a year for our schools based on the formulas. Nevertheless, it's broken out by $24 million in one area and $10 million in another. And so when you take a look at how that goes, it's a very, very different angle in terms of how it's actually presented to the public. But it's when I'm in appropriations looking at it, I'm looking at, oh, we get that through here and we get that through there. Anyway, I went on too long, but this is Susan Johnson. I'm here with my co-host, Dennis O'Brien, and our very special guest, Councilwoman Dawn Niles, also chair of the Sustainable Committee here in Wyndham. And we will be right back after these messages from our wonderful sponsor, The Gates. Welcome back, everyone. This is Susan Johnson. I'm here with my co-host, Dennis O'Brien,
Taking
and our
charge,
very
Susan Johnson.
special guest, Dawn Niles. She's here as Councilwoman Niles and also as the chairman of the Sustainability Committee that has been doing amazing work, and she's bringing us, we're hitting for the gold. And right now I want to have Dawn tell us how to connect with the Sustainable Committee online.
Well, because there's so many subject matters, and I did not print that because I didn't have my list when I sent you. Basically, if you go to ConnecticutSustainable.org, you will find it on the web. And it lists under the categories, it lists all the categories, and under those categories, it lists all the subcategories. You won't see us because you have to have permission to see what I've done and what we put in. So only committee members actually get permissions for that. When I remember to put you on, I'm saying that now because I didn't put Susan on yet.
That's okay. I know what we're doing.
And so that's where I logged the point system in and put all the information in. Everything is done online, so if I'm recording something or anything else, I've got to either scan it or I've got to take a picture of it, and then I got to pull it into this particular line item, and then I got to explain it and say why it counts.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's a wonderful thing. And I know
That's
that
the easy part.
And I was there with you and the committee last year when you were filling out the form and getting it done, and a few meetings that we had that you needed where we all got together and talked about it. Some of us took a few jobs and
Maybe
helped
it
you
was
out
do
with
water.
it. Yeah. And so yeah. But I just want to start. You did talk about some of the things that you're doing right now and that we're working on. And so start off with the Third Thursday chalk murals.
Well, that's what I want.
Yeah.
I actually wanted to just to show you all the differences.
Right.
So, chalk murals, why they're happening. If everybody remembers, there was a time when someone did all up and down Main Street, and some people got really,
It wasn't
really
that long ago.
upset and everything
Right,
else.
It was last year.
Well,
It wasn't with
so
permission.
I worked with Arts in Motion from Sustainable, and Phoebe Godfrey
yeah.
was our connection to do all that.
Yep.
To come up with a way that we could do it in a in a legitimate manner that was approved.
Yeah.
So what we decided on was to do it on Third Thursday. We originally were going to do it on Bank Street, but then we decided to do it on Maple, right?
Okay. Maple?
Yeah, Maple Street. But we're doing it on the sidewalks there because unfortunately the actual road is just too rough. We tried to do it on
It
the
is
road.
rough, yeah.
All right?
Maple
you-
Avenue.
But instead of having a police car now stopping, they have vans stopping you from going any further than going into the parking garage and going
Right.
out. And they provide the chalk and some chairs. They even have paper, Susan, if you choose not to be able to bend down and do something and you want to just make something. But we picked topics.
Right.
So, like, we've already done mental health.
That was very nice, yes. And
So what I had to get done from there is I had to have pictures from that so that I could pull it into Sustainable and count that towards some points.
Yeah, for points.
Very nice. Very
Yeah.
nice. That was great. And
So now we're going to do immigration in June.
Okay.
July, you guess what we're doing in July.
250.
250.
250 years in July.
Yeah.
And then in August, we're doing housing.
Very nice.
So there's not a set what the mural has to look like.
Mm-hmm.
It's if you're there and you want to create something that is acceptable, obviously. And we don't want anything crude, but
It fits
acceptable
within,
and fits within this category. So we had kids,
Yes.
older adults, young adults, artists, some people that just did it because they liked to.
Sure, they want to express themselves. It's a wonderful thing. Maple Avenue is a good spot for it.
Yeah.
Because people will be able to walk around Third Thursday, and people
A
go.
lot of people
all
go
around.
back
Yeah,
to
they
Maple
go.
Avenue to get to Third
Yeah,
Thursday.
or
Walk down
it's
the
a
hill.
very good, very good.
So
Yeah.
can somebody who's going to do one of those murals start it before Third Thursday?
No.
It's got to be done right on the.
Yeah. It's done on Thursday.
Wow.
Very nice.
You got to. Well, I
people
I
have
saw
more
some of those
capacity.
people doing it when they did it on the street without
Mm-hmm.
approval, and they were able to do it pretty fast.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
but they were probably experienced artists.
Well,
That looked. I mean, because it was pretty well done.
Well, what we really wanted is to make sure the event, because again, remember, sustainable is inclusion.
right.
Yeah.
Okay. So we
Okay.
wanted an event that
That's
helped them express their issues. They picked their
Yeah.
topics.
yeah.
And then,
So-
I
yeah.
shared that with the council
Yeah.
after we, as Sustainable, said okay.
Yeah.
But we had to do it in an atmosphere where anybody that wants to be part of it could be part of
So
it.
people
Right.
can watch them doing it while they're going to Third Thursday or while
Yes.
they're attending.
Yes.
It's
That's-
it'll draw.
I think that was a great
Spectators.
way to compromise and let people know, hey, you really need to
Have-
go to
have
the
you
town
had
if you're gonna express yourself.
Yeah.
And so that's I think a very good thing.
Have you had the experience of doing it at Thursday yet?
Yes,
Yes,
we did. We
we-
did
Oh.
mental health.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it worked, and it worked pretty well.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I was
had a lot of-
actually so pleased because, again, it was a mixture of young kids and teenagers and older adults.
Yeah.
And some of them were artists, and some of them were just people who wanted to put their thoughts
Yeah,
down.
Yeah.
it was great.
And
And
Yeah, I
I
missed
saw it on
Thursday.
Facebook.
I was at a convention.
I actually I went on that third Thursday with my granddaughter, and we walked down.
were
Main
there,
Street.
yeah.
We walked back up and forth, but then we had to go to the probate convention.
Probate
but,
convention in
yeah, out of town.
Lebanon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we got the roots for tomorrow grant, which is a big deal.
oh my God, we just
Tell
got
us
that
about
grant.
that. Yeah.
And that one is actually very, very interesting because I know somebody actually went out with it, and it's not exactly what they thought it was. We're putting trees everywhere. We're not putting trees
Of course not.
everywhere. All right.
Don't
we are-
put any in my yard. I got enough.
No, we're going to. First of all,
Joe Plus thinks we
this
need more.
I need to make sure because with this particular program, I have to always say that it's done in partnership with the U.S. Department of Agriculture through Urban and Community Forestry Program in partnership with the Connecticut Department of Energy and Environmental Protection.
It's quite a
Wow.
lot
Covered.
of. Thank you so
I'm
much.
covered with that now.
That is great.
So, we received 100 and I think it was 170 or
A little more than 100,000.
yeah, and that money is paying for us to provide 51 trees that are going to be located at Rec Park, and no, it's 107,214.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a 1.1 acre zone at Rec Park that they have approved, and
Oh,
that's
great.
where we're planting.
Near
But
the
we're
river?
not just planting. Yes,
Yeah.
we're restoring the soil.
Right.
So there's a lot of remediation going on there. All of those invasive plants in that area are part of this grant. They'll be taken away.
Okay.
And
That's
dealt
very good.
with.
Very good.
So there's all of that, and all of the trees will be Connecticut natural trees.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very good.
So
And this is very good for the health of the river.
the nice part about this is, although we're charging for administrative costs because
Yeah.
I found out that we were never charging for administrative costs. It's not smart. So now we're charging for administrative
learn.
costs now, and any grant we go after, and anything that Public Works has to do is being paid for as well. So, but we're in partnership with Grow Wyndham
Yeah.
and Project Emo,
Wonderful.
and then
Talk about Project Emo because it's quite. I think we all know Grow Wyndham, but well, maybe not. Emo is about youth, and the name comes from the concept of having the young people teach
Yes.
the adults.
Right.
And Grow Wyndham, of course, is young people working with older people, and that we have a nice little garden by the in Philip Lauder Park.
So Project Emo is going to work along with Eastern and Yukon to come up with the educational piece of the program because, again, this program that we have, Roots for Tomorrow, involves the children and
Yes.
learning
It's so important.
and becoming like almost like an internship. So there's a little bit of money in there for them to do that.
Let me just add something to that because I just feel so strongly that one of the things, and I come from a farm family, okay, historically. And so to be able to really understand agriculture, understand farming, understand growing things, we are so conditioned to going to the store to buy stuff. But I know I grew up and I had my Grammys and they had big gardens and we were all about gardening. And unfortunately, I didn't catch the gardening fever. But but this
Not
is
much.
so
Yeah.
important to teach
It
the
is.
kids that.
It's important, and it was part of. Is this what the original program looked like that we put in for? No, we really had to downsize it quite a bit, but it is still a start. Basically, what happened was I was invited as a council person to the to a forestry grant webinar. Actually, the thing was, Wyndham never participates. Could you please participate? So I went. And what I heard was that there's money out there, and we need trees. Look at what Faith did with the
Faith Kenton,
350
Yes,
trees.
wonderful.
So I know we need trees.
Yep.
And so I brought this into Rob when I got the application from him and everything else, and I said, can you see if there's a way to work with people to develop a program that would fit within these guidelines? Then I happened to be at Project Emo for a thing they were doing, and found out that they have actually done some environmental studies down at the new site in North Wyndham. So I said, hey, I'm looking for a project for this particular grant, right? And so he got together and Grow Wyndham got together with the town manager. I made one meeting in the beginning just to make sure everything was moving forward. And then everything else has been sort of just checking in. But they're going to run the program.
That's great.
Our staff is not
that's
running
great.
the program.
Yeah.
So it's not
we
costing the
have-
town at
No,
all.
this is costing us zero,
That's
but it's
great for the
giving us
town.
trees.
Yes, and it's
Okay.
wonderful.
Yeah.
And it's teaching the kids how to do things.
Right. And so, again, it's a win-win situation for everyone. For sustainable, it means we have to record everything.
Okay, Madam
because
Chair.
This will probably be our climate control
It should be, yes. That's a great idea.
application that we're going to put in,
Okay.
which is going to mean that I have to then write a long report on how it got together, who was there, and what was done.
Yeah, well, we got to move along
You
because
know?
we're going to be running out of time
That's
shortly.
that one.
So, composting grant is wonderful.
Oh.
I've been very thrilled to be part of that discussion, and I know there are so many people in the community, including Click, our commercial licensed kitchen people. They're all about composting, and you have done amazing work on this. So, tell us, and then I
So-
want to talk about geothermal.
Yeah, we actually received a grant for $421,515.
Amazing.
That's amazing.
That's great.
And what we got from that is a 40-foot in-vessel composter. We're actually now trying to see if we can get 2 20-footers, mainly because we reduce staff and they need to find a way to do this without having to have too many people having
This is
to
at
work
the
the
transfer
machine.
station.
Yes. It will be at the transfer station, totally accessible to the public. The tipper carts that are going to be bought are going to be available for our municipal schools here in
Okay.
Wyndham. And then we have some smart food waste receptacles. Originally, we were going to place them around town and pick them up. Again, because of reduced staff, we're not going to be able to do that part. So we're going to, because we worked with 2 organizations, Click and the Food Co-op, they will get the things there with the understanding that they have to bring it to the transfer station. Everything will be weighed.
great.
You won't be charged for it.
That's wonderful.
But it will be weighed. And this machine will actually produce compost.
Yes.
And the composting will be free to all Wyndham residents. Okay?
Wow.
So with it, we also got a lift truck and any site work that we had to get done. Then we ran into a problem. Not just the fact that we cut staff, but the state of Connecticut, DEEP, who gave us this grant, didn't know how to give us the permission certification that you
The
need
permit, yes.
to do the grant.
Right. Yes.
Because we're going to end up being the only municipality in the state of Connecticut that has ever done this.
They
We were
have no
supposed to
experience
be,
with it,
I thought we were doing a pilot program for the Wyndham County, but we are actually going to be the first one in the state of Connecticut.
Wow.
And that's a big deal. We will have everything that we need to ultimately eventually get to picking up. All right? But we also want to be able to provide containers for houses to be able
I'm
to
just
put
gonna
their
ask that
stuff
question.
in.
I've been thinking about
And
that.
that's a big deal to us. So we're either going to get the grant to pay for this because of some changes, or we found online how much they were. We can sell them for like $5, which is less than what they actually cost. But you'll make out if you do this program with us, and we'll make out. Why? Because the majority of our garbage contract with Casella Waste
yeah.
for the town of Wyndham, which everybody knows is huge,
Yep.
it's costing us a lot of money. That will be reduced by food waste.
Yes, it will.
And
great.
the food waste is,
Wow.
to be quite honest, I did it for 1 month to show everybody what we could possibly save. And I only have a 2-family house. We don't eat a lot. I feed my grandsons and my son once a week, and we did over 100 pounds
Wow.
of this food waste grounded. So it's actually said that municipal solid waste is about the third largest source of methadone emissions in the United States as well. So just remember that as
Yeah.
we're going
Wow.
through. So there's an environmental thing here
Absolutely.
So there's so in other words, once this gets going with the homes, you're going to have 3 different containers.
as well. Right.
Okay.
We only have 2 more minutes. So
Oh.
I do want to go into geothermal and just say how pleased I am that I'm working on the Sustainable Committee. Because of the Sustainable Committee, I was able to propose with Representative Winter the fact that we could get funding and have a focus of the Department of Energy and Environmental Protection looking at creating geothermal networks throughout the state of Connecticut. And of course, here in Wyndham, we have the Sustainable Committee with Councilwoman Niles working with me on this, all the people on the Sustainable Committee working with me, and our town manager also is very much into geothermal. And he has been amazing to work with and understanding and actually expanding to things called sewer thermal, which we
Right.
had a big show on a couple of
yeah.
weeks ago with a professor from university in Pennsylvania,
Okay.
Duquesne University, thank you. And he was great in explaining how these valves go to generate the heat, generate the energy, and it's a very sustainable thing that we can do. And this is going to be a project that we'll all be working on together. So I just have to say how thrilled I am to be working with the Sustainable Committee on this amazing issue to bring us more cost-efficient ways. Now we're getting the money to do the analysis, and we were able to also place $25 million in the budget
Yes, thank you.
to have us try and write something up, a grant up to do the analysis as to what will be the best place in Wyndham to do this. And we already
Right.
have
10 seconds.
we have
Oh, no.
oh no, we already have places in Wyndham that do geothermal.
We're going to consider doing our geothermal from Stop and Shop all the way down to actually the sewer plant.
Wow.
And right now I'm working on putting the ad hoc committee together with Sustainable and with the town manager and who needs to be on it to actually review all of this so that we can ask for the money to do a study. And I just want to say that I did I've been going to so many online meetings about this. There's lots of money to be saved. There's no good reason for us not to be doing this because the best place to do it is low-income areas, ones with a sewer plant.
That's right.
So we are perfect.
Yep.
Yes,
And
we are.
it will provide heating and cooling for buildings. So all the buildings that are town-owned within those will be heated and cooled with those. And businesses can join into a municipal authority when we create it.
Get it? Thank you, Don Niles. Thank you for being with us today. And we got to bring you back because we're running overtime. Thank
Way
you, everybody,
overtime.
for listening. And thank you, Rupert, our great producer.
Sorry.
Thanks for listening. We'll be back next week with another great guest.